took another one. Can you see it? Going to my still 37-week appointment. I'll be 38 weeks Thursday, but I just wanted to do a little bumpy bump update. There's the baby bump. So I see y'all there, guys. So welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Tina. Disclaimer, you guys know it's always a disclaimer on my videos. If you hear a breathing or a little grunts like so, I do have my little one wrapped around me. He's sleeping right now, and I don't know if he is trying to wake up, if he is gassy, or if he is having like an intense dream. I don't know. And also, I'm sitting next to my big window. Oh, perfect timing. I wanted to do something a little different. Instead of me having to go and do 2 different videos where I would do like the labor and delivery video and then, you know, come back in and share with you all like the details from my birth. So I'm going to share my birth story with baby number 4. I got up this morning and I was just gonna turn on my camera and film, but y'all, like I didn't want to look busted today. I wanted to get up and I wanted to look like something. I did a little razzle dazzle, and I did tint my eyebrows, so they may look a little dark, so don't worry about that. But anyway, let's just get into my birth story. You will find out. So if you are interested in this birth vlog, please stay tuned and come with me, y'all, because it gets crazy. If you did not see what's in my hospital bag video, stop this video, go back and check it out, okay, and then come back to this one. I already had my hospital bag packed, but that's when I decided to really just be like, okay, I need to really get my things packed, because I had my 37-week appointment that morning, and because of my blood pressure slowly going up, they were considering induction. So I was like, okay, it's really time for me to go home and pack my bag. So that's exactly what I did. We're talking about induction with my doctor. That's something that that's something that I personally did not want to do. I did not want to be induced. I really wanted baby boy to come naturally on his own. And when she did check to see how far dilated I wasn't dilated at all. Like, my cervix was really, really high, y'all. There was no indication of baby coming anytime soon. So once I knew that and we saw that, I was just like, there's no way I want to induce. Like, I want him to be able to come on his own. I don't want him to be forced. But I also understood that there are medical interventions that are necessary. And if my blood pressure continued to climb, then I understood, like, okay, we have to get induced. So anyway, I explained that to my doctor, and my doctor was like, you know, we're just gonna have you go home and monitor your blood pressure, but if your blood pressure is anything over 140, we are thinking of inducing you sometime this week. So that appointment was Monday. She was thinking about maybe like a Friday. So anyway, fast forward, I went home, I took my blood pressure, and it was normal. It was 130. I think it was like 135 over 80 or something like that. But we did notice, like, throughout the pregnancy it started to climb. So they just wanted to get ahead of any hypertension in the pregnancy, which occurred in my last pregnancy towards the end of my 3rd trimester. Same 37 weeks, I was packing my bag and I went to the store to get a medicine ball, because I'm like, you know, I'm 37 weeks, I'm full term. At this point, I could do anything. My doctor gave me the okay to do anything to be able to naturally induce. So when I tell you I was trying to do everything, I was trying to do everything. I'm a ball, I'm doing all that, and we're gonna fast forward to February 7th. Morning, I was fine. We did our normal routine. We did school. We cleaned. I think I was doing laundry that day, just, you know, nesting and prepping for baby. Around 12 o'clock, my boys wanted to go outside, so I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I'm gonna go outside and walk and you know, just get some exercise in and try to get baby to do what baby needs to do to come. So we went outside. We were doing squats. We were playing soccer. Y'all, like, when I tell you I was full blown out there just playing with my boys, I was like, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do. So that's what we did. We were playing soccer and everything. We were outside for about 4 hours. I kid you not. We were outside from like 12 to 3. 12 to 3 to 34, I don't remember, but we were outside for a while because when we came back inside, I was exhausted. I was like, okay, I need to rest. But because it was 4 o'clock, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and start cooking. And this was around 4:50. I was prepping, and then 5 o'clock hit. I kid you not, I remember looking at the time because I was trying to keep track of like making sure I have dinner done when my husband got home. And I literally looked at the time and it was 5 o'clock, and I started to feel like a little crampy feelings. It wasn't painful. It wasn't like a Braxton hit where it would come and then it would go away. So by that time, I had a friend call me. They started to get a little more uncomfortable to where I had to like lean on my counter. I remember her asking like, "Are you timing these?" But you know, like 4 weeks prior, I was having so many Braxton hits. I thought I was going to give birth at the end of January. It happened often. So to me, I didn't believe that I was in labor. Eventually, I think at 6 o'clock hit, they started to feel a little more uncomfortable. Around this time, my husband came home and I wasn't done cooking dinner. I was finishing up. So he said, you know what? I'm going to go outside and I'm going to go cut the yard. I don't know, it was just so random. He was like, I want to cut the yard. I don't want to have to worry about it when baby gets here. So I'm going to go outside and I'm going to cut the yard. So that's what they did. Him and the boys went outside and cut the yard. And it was just such a sweet moment. It's like, let me just capture this because the last time it'll just be 5 of us because pretty soon it's going to be 6. They cut the yard. They spent maybe an hour. I was done with dinner. Contractions did start getting a little worse. Again, they were still manageable. I wasn't feeling like, oh, I need to go to the hospital. That wasn't my initial thought because I was cooking. And then, you know, I didn't think to go. I did start to time them because they got closer and closer and closer. Girl, he's stressing me out with all these noises. They were like 3-4 minutes apart. I text another friend and I let her know like, hey, I think I'm going to start timing my contractions. Because this was also someone that I had as an emergency babysitter in case it didn't work out with the other people that we had. So I was just letting her know like, you know, I don't think this is labor, but it may be. I think that's when I picked up my camera and I realized like, okay, this may be labor. Okay, y'all. So I don't know. I'm just filming just in case I go into labor. I don't think I am, but I do have like consistent, I've been having contractions that have not been like 2 to 3 minutes apart, but they have been like all day. And I do have like little crampy feelings. It feels like when your period is about to start. Ladies, you know what I mean. I don't know if that can progress into something else. But just in case it does, I'm just gonna start recording these little moments. It is February, I don't even know what it is, February 7th. I would absolutely love for him to just make his arrival. Okay, right now, if he chose to, I am trying to do things to induce labor. My hair done, that's pretty much all I wanted to do, and I did. The important things are done. Like I packed my bag. I'm out of breath and I'm just sitting here. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to come just in case something do pop off. We don't know if it will, but just in case. So yeah, I'm getting dinner ready for tonight. I'm sitting on the floor. I'm tired. I'm out of breath. I'm still a little congested, just lingering congestion. And yeah, that's it. I just I don't know, just waiting for baby, just taking it one day at a time. So we'll see. Even if it's not tonight or today, whatever, I'm gonna record just in case. So I'll be back if there is something. If not, I don't know, we'll see. So I'll talk to y'all later. By this time, I'm like, I finished dinner. No, when I do go into labor, majority of the time when I literally am in transition to birth, my body just rejects everything. And according to the nurses, that's a good sign when you're vomiting, because it shows that there's progression with labor. It is not fun. I didn't have the appetite to eat. My husband was encouraging me to eat and my friend was encouraging me to eat, but I was just not feeling like, I didn't feel like eating. If anything, I was just trying to make sure I stay hydrated. My contractions literally started at 5 p.m. and they were continuing up until maybe like 6:30. By 6:30, the pain completely stopped. I don't know what happened. I don't know where the contractions went, but they literally stopped. So I tried to use the bathroom to see if I see my mucus plug or if water, but none of that happened. So I was like, oh, okay. And by 8 p.m. when we sat down, my family sat down to eat dinner, they literally picked back up again, but they picked back up. They were stronger. So I said, I'm going to go take a shower and with some warm water, and I'm going to see if that helps. Because it really threw me off when my contractions stopped. Like, it stopped for like an hour. I kid you not. As I'm taking a shower, like, it's getting to the point where I have to stop and I have to like, ooh, okay. You know, I have a pretty high pain tolerance, and I feel like this is probably why I didn't think to go to the hospital. Still able to get tasks done around the house, and I knew that it would be helpful if I move around rather than just going to the hospital and possibly having to just, you know, be confined to the bed. I'm not saying I would have, but I think it just made it more comfortable for me to just walk around. But at that time, again, it was manageable for me to be able to, I was moving around. But when the contraction did hit, I did have to stop and take a minute, and I had to catch myself and I had to breathe. So by that time, that's when I was like, okay, I think I am in labor. So fast forward to about 10 p.m. we had a friend that was coming in town who was staying the night with us. Like, I'm pulling up text messages. In fact, at 10 p.m. I texted my friend and I was letting her know, like, you know, hey, so I think I'm in labor. This is a big jump from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Like, this is when everything really started to get to where I low-key started to panic, because the pain was getting like really bad. So I texted her and I let her know, like, hey, you know, I think I'm in labor, just letting you know, you can still come, but yeah, this might be the real deal. So I texted her, I called my sister and I let her know what was going on. Didn't really tell family right away. We didn't want to get overwhelmed with phone calls and text messages, you know, and again, it was 10 o'clock at night, so I'm pretty sure by that time people were in bed, some people were sleeping, and some people were even working. She didn't have work the next day, so I asked her if she could come up and just be with our boys until the next day, until the, you know, we get the people who we had in line to watch them. So it just so happened the Lord worked it out to where my sister would come and be with the boys. So this is around 10 p.m. and this is really when the contraction started to pick up. So my sister lives an hour out. We had to wait for her. We had to wait for her to get to us before we can do anything. If there was like a literal emergency situation to where we had to call 911 or we had to literally leave, then we had friends that stayed 5 minutes away. But because my sister again was like, I'm off, I can come, you know, it was a blessing for us, because that's the auntie. They love auntie. At this point, I won't say the contractions were unbearable, but to be honest with you, I did feel similar to when I was on Pitocin, but like the beginning stages of Pitocin. So when they like put you on level 1, level 2, I don't really know what to call it, but and everybody knows that Pitocin ain't no joke. I literally remember saying, like, this is weird, like, I feel like I'm having like Pitocin contractions that I had with my 4th. They were pretty bad. And I remember I was like, I need to like distract myself. I need to do something to distract myself. So that's when I started picking up the camera. I was like, oh, let me vlog. So I think I came on here earlier today about my possible contractions, like what I'm having right now. Ooh, hold on, y'all. Oh. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Lord, this hurts. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. Y'all, I feel like I am in active labor right now. Earlier today, I think I was saying I was having some sort of contractions or Braxton Hicks, I don't know, but they have gotten pretty consistent and pretty strong. Normally after 5, I'm like exhausted. It is currently 9:22 and it is February 7th. So I don't know, I don't even feel like talking. The hospital is about 45 minutes away, but it is nighttime, so the roads are probably clear and it'll probably be, you know, a smoother drive. I'm hoping. I'm just trying to make a few phone calls, not too many. I don't want people to worry. Or just to be calling and contacting while we're like in the process. I don't want to overwhelm my husband either with all the texts and stuff, so I just let a few people know. Just waiting for my sister to get here. And from my understanding, I didn't lose my mucus plug, and my water hasn't broken, so it's from I don't know if I did lose my mucus plug or not, but I'm just assuming because I didn't see anything the recent times I went to the bathroom. But yeah, I don't want to, because even if my water break, everything can just happen so fast. But I do, this pain is very familiar. Like, I'm still able to walk around and do things, but when it comes, it does stop me in my tracks. So I was feeling a little nervous, but we're just gonna take it one step at a time. And just depending on the pain level and how close and how long, then I'm gonna go ahead and call my doctor. What I don't want them to do is, if I get to the hospital, either one, send us home, or if I get to the hospital, then they just decide to push Pitocin to speed up labor. Like, I want to be able to just labor. Ooh. Oh, I want to be able. Oh my goodness. Okay. I want to be able to labor naturally and not have to push induction. So I'm talking to my friend right now, but I think I'm gonna just try to lay down. All my bags are right here. Everything is right here and ready to go. I should put it in the car, actually. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, put it in the car. But everything is back here behind me and just ready to go. I'm getting so tired, but it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, I'm just throwing in another update. We don't know, like, I don't know. It's such a strange feeling, because it's like, I'm excited, but I'm also very, very nervous. And I just want to get over it. So, I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I just know that I'm just gonna be praying and just trying to stay calm and trying to breathe through everything. So, and just trusting in the Lord. With whatever happens in the labor room, it is His perfect will. So yeah, I'm just reminding my hearts of those truths, because yeah. So all right, y'all, I'm just updating, so I'll come back if whatever happens. And if this isn't labor, then I'm really scared. If this is not labor, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't. But all right, y'all, it's so funny because I'm going back on my ring to see exactly like the time, to see like the time frames. Our friend ended up getting to us at 10:35 p.m. and she didn't see my text that I texted her. Like, when she came in, I was like, girl, I think I'm in labor. And she was like, I knew it, I knew it. And it's so funny because I was also telling my husband, like, prior to her coming, I'm like, what are the odds that I go into labor when she comes? Here is the kicker. She is a labor and delivery nurse. That completely went over my head. Like, I might have to take a pause because baby might be ready to eat. Hi, handsome. When I tell you guys, like, I was so relieved because I was contemplating on whether I should go to the hospital or not. I don't know why, but I was just contemplating, like, should I go to the hospital or should I, or should we wait? But, you know, we did have to wait for my sister anyway because she was an hour out. She was just giving me some tips. She was like, let's get on your medicine ball. Let's rock. Let's try to, you know, bounce. Let's get your pelvic. So that's what I did. So I got on the medicine ball. I spent quite some time on that medicine ball. And it was actually helpful for me. Just to be moving around and bouncing. I was having contractions while I was on it. At that point, I was in a lot of pain. I really was. You guys, I think it's like 11 something right now. Contractions, the pain has definitely gotten worse. My belly is still high though. I don't see any signs of baby dropping. Shut down. I am tired. I actually have a friend staying with us tonight, and she's a labor and delivery nurse. What a grace from the Lord. So she's been walking me through what to do. I'm trying to work through it. Well, I was excitingly dreading this day, but I'm excited for baby to be here. I just want it to be over with. No water, no mucus. Like I was saying, as far as I'm concerned, I know I look crazy. I'm just really tired, like, right now. I wish I could take a nap. It's once that pain hit, like, I jump up. The baby is also active, which is not helpful. And I'm getting hungry, and I'm trying to drink water. So it's just, and I'm exhausted already. I know once I get into that moment of, like, my water breaking and the transition into birth, the pain is gonna get worse. So I'm just not trying not to think about that. I'm just taking everything one step at a time. They weren't as bad earlier, but they did have me, like, stop. I was cooking dinner when it started. It wasn't too bad, but I did have to, like, pause and be like, oh, what's this? My sister's on her way up. She's an hour away. Thankfully she's off, so she'll come and be with them tonight if we have to leave to go to the hospital. And then my other sister, who works night shift, who's a nurse, she will get off in the morning and come and be with the boys with my other sister until she leaves. So that's just the plan right now. How when you're tired, like you're really tired, and you just have like those thoughts of all those moments where you could have been asleep or you could have had time to go to sleep. That's where I am right now. Like, I'm thinking about all the times that I had to sleep and all the opportunities that I had to sleep and I didn't sleep. I'm truly regretting it. I was not able to sleep. Here goes the contraction, y'all. This is no joke. Really no joke. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to rest. I told everybody to rest. Everybody's resting right now. Peace. I'm gonna go back to my handy dandy ring because I want timestamps. I want to remember timestamps for myself. So my sister ends up getting to our house at literally 12 o'clock on the dot. By this time, I would probably say if they were to ask me what my pain level was, I would probably say it was at an 8 or 9. I'm not even joking. It was at an 8 or 9. it was so much relief when she got there, because I was like, okay, finally somebody else is here to be with the boys. The fact that my friend was there, shout out to you, Jacqueline. I'm gonna shout you out, girl, because you were such a huge help. Shout out to you. Okay, I hope you are watching this. I'm gonna send it to you personally, because you were such a blessing that night to us, so we appreciate you so much. But I wanted her to be with us if we did go to the hospital, or if the baby did come in the car, because we did have about a 35-40 minute drive from where I live. I personally love my OBGYNs, and I'm going to shout them out too. Brown Institute for Health and Wellness with Dr. Brown and Dr. Colbert, and the midwife Rachel. Everybody there is amazing. Even the front desk staff are amazing. Okay, my experience from being with them for the last 3 years, for my last three deliveries, were amazing. So like, if you guys are wondering why 45 minutes, 40 minutes, yeah girl, 40 minutes, they have been amazing to us. My husband and I are thankful for them. So anyway, my friend did let me know, like, from the time that she's got there to the time now, it's obvious that there has been progression in my labor. And because we do live almost 45 minutes from the hospital, she did encourage us to go. And honestly, I was ready to go. I was just afraid to get in a car and drive, because the pain that I was in at that moment, I couldn't imagine just sitting 45 minutes through that. Although it didn't take us 45 minutes to get to the hospital, because it was 12 o'clock in the morning and there were no cars on the road, thankfully. So I went to go get my husband up and said good night to our children and see you later. And yeah, y'all, we were on our way. We weren't actually on our way right away, because it took me about 20 minutes to muster some sort of strength to get in a car. And it was like 40 degrees outside, mind you. So my husband and my friend are just sitting outside freezing, and I had on this sleeveless blue dress, no jacket. It wasn't even cold. Honestly, the cold was helping me. So I did forget to mention that one of my other friends that I spoke to, she brought up the comb method. I don't know what it's called, but she mentioned for me to get a comb. She told me to grab a comb, and every time I had a contraction, to squeeze it. So I went and grabbed the first comb that I seen, and it was actually a braiding comb. You know, the little braiding combs that had a little metal piece at the bottom? That's the comb I had grabbed. That probably wouldn't have been the best choice, but that's the one I grabbed. And I tell y'all, I was squeezing the mess out of that comb, but it worked. It was working. Like, it didn't take the contraction pain away, obviously, but I guess it was one of those things where that pain from squeezing it was kind of taking some of that pain away from, like, in my mind. Like, I don't know, y'all, it was just helping. I don't really know how to explain it. What made me really be like, okay, we really need to go, was when I started to dry heave. Like, I started to gag, and I know every time right before I give birth, I start throwing up. I remember praying and asking the Lord to take the pain away. I was like, Lord, just take the pain away while I'm in the car. Obviously, we know that the pain can't go nowhere. This is the process of getting baby out. I was still contracting, but I do feel like the Lord answered my prayer instantly and gave me the peace that I needed to just calm down and get to the hospital. Driving to the hospital was a pretty smooth ride. It wasn't hectic. In between contractions, surprisingly, I would fall asleep, but as soon as one would come back, I would wake up. I remember one particular contraction. I was resting my head. I had the window down because the cool air was helping me, and the contraction was coming. And I remember just grabbing the the hand thingy on the door, and I let the window down. And while this contraction was coming, I started feeling pressure in my bum. I was getting a little nervous, so to distract me or to like help with the pain, y'all, it was cold outside. Like, I was sticking my head outside of the window like a dog. Like, anybody that was on the road who probably seen that was probably confused, squeezing that comb. My husband probably was like, what? Okay. It's 3 minutes later, another one came, and I started feeling pressure in my bum. And not only did I start feeling pressure in my bum, I started to feel like my stomach was tightening. You know the pressure feeling that I'm talking about, when your stomach is tightening and you feeling like you have to poop. That's what was happening in the car. I did not tell my husband because I didn't want him to panic. It was a smooth ride, so all I was doing was just praying, like, Lord, please don't let this baby come in this car. I couldn't think, I couldn't speak. I was at that point in labor where I was just like, nothing will help with this pain unless I get epidural or baby comes. We get to the hospital and we're in the lobby. Now, mind you, I still had this comb in my hand that I was squeezing it, and it had that little metal piece on it. And every time a contraction would come, like, I would walk up and down the hallway and I had the comb like swinging back and forth, like, y'all, I must look like a mad person, because the nurse that walked by me, she was like, gave it to my friend and she broke off the metal part for me and gave it back to me. And by this time we were checked in. They called for a nurse to come down from labor and delivery. I feel like every minute or every contraction at that point that was coming, it was getting worse and worse. I don't know if it was because I was at the hospital and in my mind I'm like, okay, I'm here, I want to get some sort of pain relief. Or my mind could have just been like, okay, I'm here, time for baby to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, no more holding back. We got up to the triage. There were 2 nurses in our room and they were starting to check me, and they barely could because the contractions were coming back to back. Yep. Anytime my contraction came, I didn't want nobody touching me. I didn't want nobody checking me. Like, they checked me. Okay, well, you're definitely 10 centimeters, which explains the pain. They were like moving really, really fast, y'all. Mind you, like, I was 10 centimeters, so at that point I can start pushing, and I was. So they get me into the room. You know, they have to get the IVs, they have to get the fluids and everything going. And so they asked me to climb into the bed, and I was gonna lay on my back, but I started having terrible painful contractions, so I refused to lay on my back. So I just stayed on all fours. Like, I was literally on all fours, and I was like, I'm so sorry, ladies, you guys are gonna have to work like this because I'm not laying down. It's too painful to just lay back on my back, you know what I'm saying? So
what was your due date?
20th.
20th?
They were very sweet. They were like, okay, that's totally fine, let's just get you set up. Hold on, I feel like this is a very important part that I forgot to mention. Before I climbed into bed, my water broke, and when I tell you guys, my water was literally leaking like a faucet broke. So that happened. Then I started vomiting. I remember looking up and I saw my doctor getting suited up and ready to go. So every contraction that came, I started to push. And again, guys, I was on all fours. The doctor did ask me to straighten myself up because I was like kind of hanging off the bed. So they were like, you can stay on this position, but at least get on the bed, and like, so you know, there won't be any accidents with baby. And so I did. I straightened myself up and I started to push. They just allowed my body to, they allowed me to do whatever I needed to do, whatever my body was doing. It wasn't until my doctor said to me, like, Tina, I need you to lay on your back. Some of it was kind of a blur, to be honest. I just remember the nurses like urgently telling me I needed to lay on my back, and I remember just saying, no, I'm not laying on my back. It wasn't until my doctor had said, basically, we're looking at a situation that we don't normally do, so we need you to lay on your back. And I was a little confused. And one of the nurses, I remember her saying, while I was pushing, and I can kind of feel baby starting to crown. I remember her saying, that does not, that, like, I can clearly hear ooh, that does not look like a head. And I was like, well, what is it? He was like, well, if it ain't a head, it's a, and I'm like, I don't know, an elbow, a finger, a foot. What is it? That's when I knew. I was like, there's no way. There is no way this baby's butt is coming out first. So that's when my doctor was like, I think we're looking at a breech delivery, which is what we don't do. And I'm saying it calm, but my doctor, he's Jamaican, so he was like, he was very serious at the moment. He was like, we're looking at a breech delivery. We need you to lay on your back. This is me saying it nicely, but he was like, you can hear the sternness in his voice. He was like, this is not normal protocol. You need to lay on your back so we can see what's going on. This is not normal. Normally we do C-sections. This is not protocol. You need to lay on your back so I can guide your baby out safely. And so once he said that, I thought about my son. I was like, okay, it was a surprise breech baby delivery. None of us would have expected that he was breeched. From that Monday when I went to my appointment, he was head down, to that Thursday in the same week, he flipped. So I don't know, I might get a little emotional. I feel, I'm not gonna cry. Laid on my back, and that is when everything just started to happen. And I can show y'all some clips. I couldn't get epidural because obviously I was 10 centimeters and I was already kind of crowning, like baby was already making his way out. So there was no time. Like I remember hearing one of the nurses say, call for OR, and my doctor was like, there's no time, like we have to, baby is almost here, we have no choice but to deliver him. I just remember laying on my back and I was trying to contain my scream, and I was trying to just remain calm. At that point, there was no breathing. I was like, get this baby out. You guys don't know what a breech baby is. Basically, by the 3rd trimester, the baby is supposed to be in rotation to be delivered head down. In cases where a baby is breeched, normally they will call for an emergency C-section, or they would just go ahead and schedule you for a C-section. In my case, I had no time for any. Everybody went in that delivery room blind, and when it was time for baby to come in, it was time for me to push, we didn't know until literally baby started to crown, and everybody was like, that is a butt. But I do remember just praying and like just asking the Lord to just protect baby, and I think I pushed like maybe 3 times, three good times. By the Lord's sweet grace, at 2:07 a.m. our 4th baby boy was born.
I don't need that anymore. I don't need that anymore. I mean, don't throw it away completely, but you guys don't have to fuss as much. Baby's up, we're okay. No, you're good, girl. It's a wild ride for all of us. This is a wild ride for all of us. Thanks, Dr.
Thank you, Dr.
Oh, no, thank you, Reggie.
And I am so incredibly thankful to all of the medical staff who were there. And for my husband, like, I want to just shout him out because I'm so thankful for him. Ooh, I'm gonna get emotional. I know it's a lot for our husbands to sit in and watch us endure that. I know that is a lot. And I remember every single time like I give birth, I always take a look at him, or I always look at him just to see, you know, just to make sure he's okay. And he's just always right there, and always so calm, always by my side, and I'm just so thankful for him. The Lord knew what I needed, because I can be a very anxious person. Even with birth, we know birth can be a lot. Anything can go wrong. You know, sometimes you think of those things like, you know, what if this happens, or what if that happens? And he would always gently remind me, like, you know, it's okay. Your life is in the Lord's hands, as well as our children. And that always brought me great comfort to know, like, my life is in my Heavenly Father's hands. And that's so true. So regardless of the outcome of our birth, whether it was just what we expected or not, and we definitely did not expect this, I can definitely see the Lord's faithfulness all throughout my birth. I hope this video does not scare anyone and make anyone nervous. If you are pregnant and you're nervous, or if you are reaching the final stretches of pregnancy and baby's gonna be here soon, I really encourage you not to be worried regardless of the situation. Pray, cast your cares on the Lord. We can't change our circumstances. We can't change what's gonna happen. The Lord already knows. The only thing we can do is just trust him through that. The Lord promises to walk with us in the darkest of darkest valleys, and he will not forsake us. Walking into that delivery room, we didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew that the Lord was faithful and true to his word, that he will be with me regardless of what happens. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. This was my story of my breech unmedicated birth. Please like, comment, subscribe for some more mommy content. I'm getting back into the swing of things, and maybe a little later I can do a little update on my postpartum, or like just, you know, you guys seeing day in the life. So I will see you all in my next video.